Hey everyone, so if you've been watching our daily mini guitar lessons and playing along, we've been working on our E minor pentatonic scale, and we just added some notes to that. So what I'm going to do in this video is show you some of my favorite riffs to play with that scale. So let's get to it. First, I already touched on this one in one of the videos before, but I'm going to go back over it. So I'm going to play open D, down pick that one, hammer on to fret 2, and then you're going to up pick open G. So open D, hammer on to fret 2, up pick, open G. And if you repeat that, you can get a really nice thing happening. And you can speed it up as you go along. Now we're going to take that up the octave. To do that, you're going to bar with your first finger on the B string and the high E. That means you're holding both of those notes down at the same time. We're going to pick the B string, that's a down pick, hammer on to fret 5 with our third finger, and we're going to up pick the high E string. So pick the B string, hammer on to fret 5, up pick the high E. Same exact riff as this one, just up an octave. So some higher notes. Now to get out of that riff, I like to play this riff, so we have another riff. So you're going to take your third finger on the 5th fret of the high E string, but now this is going to be a bend. Now when I do my bend, especially on acoustic, I put my second finger also on that high E string. It gives me a little bit more leverage for the bend. You're going to bend up. When that bend comes down, you're going to pick the string again, then play 3rd fret, 5th fret on the B string, back to 3rd fret on the high E. So once again, we're going to bend on the 5th fret, pick it again when the bend comes down, play 3rd fret on the high E, 5th fret on the B string, and then end on the 3rd fret on the high E. So it's So that's a nice little way to get out of there. You can do that down the octave as well. You're going to play 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the G string. You're going to bend that note up. Now it's just going to be a really little bend, okay? So bend up, pick it when it comes back down, open G, 2nd fret on the D string, open G. So once again, starting on the 2nd fret of G, bend that up, pick it again when the bend comes down, open G, 2nd fret on the D string, open G. So just a couple of nice riffs right there. Now the next riff I'm going to give you uses kind of like a picking technique and a left hand technique with hammer-ons and pull-offs, and you can easily transfer this all throughout the pentatonic scale. So we're going to start though on the 3rd fret of the high E string. You're going to start though by picking the open E. You're going to be hammering on and pulling off on the 3rd fret of the high E. So just like that. And make that an up pick. Now next you're going to pick the 3rd fret of the B string. That's going to be a down pick. So that's the whole riff, but when we repeat it, we're going to end up with something that sounds like this. Yeah, that's just a fun one. I like that riff. So again, in slow motion, you're going to up pick the high E, hammer on and pull off from fret 3. Then you're going to play fret 3 on the B string, that's the note D, by down picking. So that's what it'll sound like slowed down. And then sped up. Now we said we could transfer that technique to other parts of the pentatonic scale, and we can. We're going to do it right here as well. So 2nd fret of the G string, you're going to pick open G first, and then hammer on and pull off to the 2nd fret. Then you're going to play 2nd fret on the D string with a down pick. Now the reason we're picking up and then down is it makes it easier to play faster when you get up in tempo. So again, that's pick open G, hammer on and pull off to the 2nd fret. Then you're down picking the 2nd fret on the D string. And eventually you'll get that moving pretty quick. Now the last riff I've got with this scale today plays off of a similar technique with the right hand and left hand, but we're going to do this using our bar technique with our left hand as well. So you're going to bar the 3rd fret of the high E and B string. This is one way to play this riff. There's another way to play it as well. You might find yourself doing both. So that's the one we're going to go for. So you're going to start out by up picking the high E string. Your first finger's playing that note G there. You're going to be hammering on and pulling off from the 5th fret. Then you're going to be playing the 5th fret of the B string. That's going to be a down pick. So up picking on the high E, hammering on and pulling off from fret 5 to 3. Then playing fret 5 of the B string. Now, you might find you'll bar this sometimes. You might find that you don't. It just kind of depends on what you've played before. If you've been playing this other riff, you might just leave the bar there, you know, but we're not really playing this note on the B string here with that bar. It's just your finger's already there, so we're not going to move it. Now, if you're going from something like this, you might just have your first finger on the 3rd fret to play that same exact riff. It really just kind of depends on what you've been doing. So those are a few of my favorite riffs with this scale. Hopefully that gives you some ideas to come up with riffs of your own as well. And, you know, if you come up with something cool, share it with me. I'd love to see what you're doing. And I'll see you on the daily guitar lessons, and let's have some fun with this. Thanks.